All right, in the middle of your notebook, I want you to write this question. What is a tenth? And we're gonna spend today's note-taking discussing what exactly 1/10 is. And so first, I'm gonna write the number 1/10 to let you see what it looks like. So right here, I'm gonna have several different places and you can design it how you want to, but you need to have all the information there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to just draw the number 1/10 because I want you to see that, okay? So right here above it, if all I had is 1/10, that would mean I have a 1 in the tens place, the tenths place, okay? 1. Now, let's talk about 1/10. 1/10, well, that kind of sounds like a fraction to me. And if it sounds like a fraction to you, you're on the right track, because just like decimals represent parts of a whole, so do fractions. And when I say 1/10, that reminds me of this, 1/10. That's because they're equal to the same. 1/10, 1/10. Same name, they just look different. So over here, I have created the fraction 1/10. Now I want to come down here, I think, and I want to model this. When I use the word model, that means I want to represent the number using pictures. And the best way to represent this is this way. 1/10. That is, if this were $1, this right here, this square stands for 1 whole. Now, talking about fractions and decimals, if we divide this into tenths, or we chop the dollar up into 10 parts, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that's 10 pieces. This is 1/10, 1/10. I bet you know what 1/10 looks like. I know you know what 1/10 looks like. So let's color that in. 1/10. Okay, so that's our model there for 1/10. I wonder what 1/10 looks like on a number line. So let's just slide our notebook over to this area. And our number line represents whole numbers. We start with 0, and this would be 1, and this would be 2, and so forth. But fractions and decimals, they all, and listen, there are a lot of them, they all live between 0, which is nothing, and 1 whole. They're less than a whole, less than $1, but they're not nothing. So they're between these two places. So where would 1/10 be? Well, we'd have to first divide our number line, excuse me, I didn't do a good job there, into 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did a terrible job with that, sorry. So you do better than I do. 1/10 would, let me get my green marker again. 1/10 would be going from one little space, there, 1/10. It'd be right here. 0.1 would be right here, okay? So on a number line, that's what 1/10 looks like. Well, we sure have been talking about money a lot with decimals, so why don't we draw what 1/10 looks like? All right, so over here, I'm gonna write money signs. Money, 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 money. Let me make sure you can see that in the camera. No, I need to come down a little more. All right, so 1/10. Now, some people will look at this and think that's a penny when they see the number 1, but that 1 is in the tenths place. That means we have 1/10, which is really, would look like this. It doesn't matter if we add a 0 here, it doesn't change the value. That is still 1/10. 1/10, when it comes to money, is that we took a dollar bill, okay? We took 1 whole dollar bill, and we chopped it up into 10 pieces. And if we chop that up into 10 pieces, it looks like coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you had a dime, you would have 1/10 of a dollar. If you had 2 dimes, that's 20 cents. Do you see how this is adding up? Well, you would have to have 10 dimes before you could get an entire dollar. But here we have 1/10. So 1/10 is equal to just one of these dimes. So I'm going to put a cent mark here. Is equal to one of those dimes. So what is a tenth? It is part, first of all, it's part of a whole. A tenth means that if we took one whole and chopped it up into 10 parts, it would be 1/10. It wouldn't be very far going down the number line. This is what it would look like as a fraction. And when it comes to money, I wouldn't have much at all. I'd just have a dime. In fact, since we've been talking about place value, and I said this is the poor side of town, I like to say the 10th place only has a dime to their name, okay? So that is what a tenth is.